Welcome students to my YouTube channel. In the last video lecture, I had started chapter number 1, that is accounting and its terminology. In that we had studied the introduction, meaning, objectives, characteristics, advantages and limitations of accounting. I hope you all have written the notes by referring the video lecture and had understood the concept very well. Now, moving on with the same chapter, I am going to teach you today the users of accounting information. It means to which people the accounting information or to which bodies of organization the accounting information is useful. So, let's start with it. As you can see on your screen, there are total 12 users of accounting information, that is management, shareholders, potential shareholders, creditors, employees, tax authorities, customers, foreign entrepreneur, regulatory bodies, professional bodies, researchers and analysts, and last but not the least, that is the government. We'll understand the accounting information is how useful to each and every person or each and every body of organization through consecutive slides. So let's start with it. The first slide, that is explaining you the management. In the company form, shareholders are treated as owners and the board of directors undertakes management. Students, already in the last video lecture I had explained you that there are basically three forms of business organization, that is sole proprietorship firm, partnership firm and joint stock company. Now in case of company form, the company issues shares and the person who purchases the shares of the company, they are called the shareholders. These shareholders, whether they purchase 1 share, 10 shares or 1 lakh shares of the company, all are treated as owners of the company. And the person or the shareholders who are having maximum number of shares of the company, they are included in the board of directors. And these board of directors, members of these board of directors undertakes the management of the company. It means they take the important decisions related to the company by internally mutual understanding or mutual agreement of all the board of directors. The effect of policy decision made by them is reflected in the accounts. It means whatever the decisions or whatever the policies they plan, the effect of that policy is seen in the books of accounts. Now, because of any of the policy of the management, the company has earned a huge project, and because of that project or target has been fulfilled, the company has earned the profit. So whether they have achieved determined goals or not through any of the important decision taken by the management, that idea we can get only through the books of accounts. So management can do the survey of their policy decision made by them. Now, after understanding the usefulness of the accounting information to the management, the next comes the shareholders. We had already understood what is the meaning of shareholders. Now, as per legal provisions, management has to send the certified copy of accounts to all the shareholders in prescribed time period. Now, as the management, in the management we have already discussed, there are the board of directors. Now, it is the duty of the board of directors or the management to send the copy of the prescribed accounts to the shareholders at the end of the accounting year. That is the duty of the management, and it is the right of the shareholders to get the certified copy of accounts at the end of the accounting year. Now, shareholders analyze published data and undertake a review of decision for their investment in the company. Now, shareholders, by referring the accounting data, they can get the idea about the financial or economic status of the company, and accordingly they can get the idea or they can review whether the decision that they have taken while investing in the company, whether that was right or wrong. That analysis can be done only through the books of accounts. Next one is the potential shareholders. Now, potential shareholders are those shareholders which are desiring to buy shares of the company. In reality, at present, they are not the shareholders, but they are willing to invest their funds in the company. So whether they will have expected return or not, they will analyze on the basis of accounting information. So they will analyze the financial position or the economic status of the company on the basis of the accounting information. or on the data of the last few years, the graph of the company, whether company is going on in profit or loss, that survey or that analysis will be done only through the books of accounts, and from that they can decide whether they want to invest or purchase the shares of the company or not. That decision is based on the books of accounts. Next one is creditors. Now, what are creditors? Creditors are those parties who have to collect their dues in future from the company. Basically, there are two types of creditors, that are short-term creditors who provide facility of goods on credit to the business enterprise. It means they have sold the goods to the firm on credit. And the second one, that is long-term creditors, in that the financial institutions and debenture holders are included. So these parties have to collect their dues in future from the company. So naturally they will have the idea about the financial position of the firm, and that idea they can get only through the published accounts of the company. They use published accounts to know the present and future earning capacity and economic condition of the company. So through the books of accounts they can get the idea what is the financial position of the company at present, and in future also whether they can continue their investment in the company. That idea also they can get on the basis of the accounts of the company. So it is useful to the creditors also. Next one is the employees. From accounts of the company, the employees of the company acquire the information about their salary improvement, bonus and job safety. Now, if the company is going on in profit, then the employees, by referring the books of accounts, they can get the idea that the company is going in profit. And if the company is going in profit, they can demand higher salary or bonus or any of the job security from the higher authorities. That idea they can get only through the books of accounts. They present their demands before management on the basis of profit. So that idea about the increase in profit they can get only by referring the books of accounts. So it is useful to the employees. Next one is the tax authorities. Different types of taxes are collected by the government in the country, keeping in mind business income, activities of business and other factors. Tax payment liability is determined from accounts. Accounts prepared and taxes paid, whether are prepared or paid as per budgetary provisions or not, is checked by the tax authorities. Now, these taxes are collected by the state and central government. Now, whether these accounts provide or whether these accounts are prepared as per the accounting standards and whether the taxes are paid according to the budgetary provisions, all that can be checked by the tax authorities only through the books of accounts. So it is useful, the accounting information, to the tax authorities. Next one comes the customers. Now you are knowing present market is the market of customers, is the market of buyers, not the market of sellers. Customer is called the king of market. They are aware of the price of product and service. Now whenever the customer go for purchasing any of the product, they do the survey of the price and the quality of the product by moving to various shops, and to whichever shop they get the effective price and the quality, from that they are purchasing. So the present customers are very much conscious and aware about the various variety of products and their prices. So customers can get idea about price of product or services from accounts of the company. So from where they are getting the idea about the price of the product and the various kinds of services the company is providing, that idea also they can get only from the accounts of the company that are published at regular intervals of time. Next one comes, that is the foreign entrepreneurs. Now in SS you have already studied, that is liberalization, privatization and globalization. Due to globalization, the world has become a small family. Now, consequently, foreign entrepreneurs wish to sell their products or services in other countries. Besides, they are interested to undertake amalgamation with company of other country. It means now the foreign enterprises also wish to do import of their products in our do export of their products in our country, and want to start a joint venture or amalgamation with the companies of other country. So in that case, they will invest their fund in other country on the basis of examining the solvency, liquidity, profitability, etc. of the company. And that idea about the solvency, liquidity and profitability, they can get only through the books of accounts of that company. Now, what is solvency? Solvency means company is in a position to bear any of the losses, or any of the financial position of the company is sound to declare himself as a solvent firm. And liquidity means enough fund the company is having to fulfill its transactions. And profitability means company is going in profit or not. All these three idea the foreign entrepreneurs would get only through the books of accounts of that company in which they want to invest their funds, or through which they want to amalgamate with that company. So it is very much helpful to the foreign entrepreneurs when they wish to export their products to other countries, or when they want to start a joint venture or amalgamate their company with companies of other countries. In that case, it is helpful the books of accounts to that foreign entrepreneurs. Next come, that is the regulatory bodies. These bodies use accounts for preparation of rules and guidelines. A company form of business is controlled either by the government or the regulatory bodies that are formed by the government, so that the general public will not have any kind of financial loss due to any steps or activities of the company. There are few regulatory bodies, example that I have given, that is SEBI. The full form of SEBI is Securities and Exchange Board of India, and IRDA, that is Insurance Regulatory Development Authority. These are some of the regulatory bodies that controls the action of any of the company or activities of the company that is under the control of the government, so that unnecessary undue advantage of their monopoly is not taken, and the financial loss is not occurred to the customers. So these are the regulatory bodies that controls the actions of the company, and these regulatory bodies get the idea about the financial position of the company only through the books of accounts. They use accounts for preparation of rules and guidelines. So regular basis, the guidelines and the rules are changing on the basis of the accounting information of the company. So the regulatory bodies, the accounting information is also useful. Next comes, that is the professional bodies. Now, account preparers are known as professionals. Accounting is a profession. For fair management of profession, each country has professional bodies. From 1949, the Institute of Chartered Accountant of India, students, you are very well aware, and many of the students might also be having the goal of becoming CA. The full form of CA, you are knowing, that is Chartered Accountant. Now, what is the role or what is the duty of a chartered accountant? That is to do the audit of the accounting entries or the transactions of the particular firm or company. Whether actually whatever the transactions that are shown in the books of accounts, whether they are fair and transparent, that audit is done by the chartered accountant at the end of the accounting year. So it is a profession, and this body prepares guidelines and accounting standards so that uniformity and integration can be maintained in prepared accounts. Now, this group of chartered accountant that prepares certain guidelines or accounting standards and principles, and on that basis of accounting standards and principles only, each and every firm all over the country prepares the books of accounts, so that uniformity and integration of preparing accounts can be maintained amongst various firms of the countries. So that preparation of accounting standards, they can get the idea on the basis of the accounts. So this professional bodies also uses the accounting information to set the new standards or guidelines for the company or the business enterprises. So it is useful to the professional bodies. Next one, that is researchers and analysts. This group is interested to know what the profitability of the company is and what the solvency of the company is. Now, what is the work of researcher? That is to do research. It means they will do the survey or research whether the profit of the company is sound or whether the profitability of the company is good or not, whether the solvency of the company is good or not. That survey or research will be done by the researchers and analysts. Apart from this, they undertake research and analysis as to why this kind of profitability or economic status exists. It means whether the profit of the company, first of all, they will do the survey whether the profit of the company is high or low, and if the profit of the company is going on in high since last few years, then why this kind of profitability of the company is going on in a hike. It means they will analyze which factors are affecting the profitability of the company or which factors are responsible for the low or high economic status of the company. Why in this quantum? It means the profitability, if it is coming 20% every year, then what steps can be taken to increase the profitability, and why every year the stable amount of profit has been earned. So that quantum is also being analyzed by the researchers. They not only work for their own interest but also for the benefit of the company and investors. The contribution of this group of users is also significant. This information is necessary for these users also. It means whatever the researchers and analysts do the survey or research, it will be useful to all the people who are concerned with the company. It will be also useful to the investors who want to invest their funds in the company. So it is very much useful to the researchers and analysts. The last but not the least, that is the government. It is the responsibility of government to bring efficient and effective management in the government. Now, the main role is of the government because it has to manage the economic affairs of the company. So it is necessary to form the policies and certain standards for the development of the country. For the formation of that policies, it requires relevant information. Before setting the policies, they do the survey, the analysis of various firms or the companies, and that analysis or relevant information they can get only through the books of accounts of the enterprises. The information presented by the companies is collected and used for the formation of national policies. It means government utilizes this information, this published information in the form of books of accounts while framing the national policies of the government. So that's all for today, students. I hope you have understood the various users of accounting information and how they utilizes the accounting information that are published by the concerned enterprise or the concerned business organization. That's all for today, students. Keep practicing, refer the video lecture again and again. Goodbye, take care, stay blessed.